Welcome to Darklight Archives, where history's shadows reveal some of the most intriguing and inspiring figures. Today, we're journeying into the life of one of America's most courageous and enigmatic heroines, Harriet Tubman. You may know her as the fearless conductor of the Underground Railroad, but there's so much more to her story. Buckle up as we dive into the top 5 fascinating facts about Harriet Tubman that may surprise you. Let's start with an astounding story of resilience. At the age of 12, Harriet Tubman suffered a traumatic head injury when an overseer struck her with a heavy metal weight while trying to hit another enslaved person. This injury caused her to have severe headaches, seizures, and visions for the rest of her life. But rather than break her, this injury gave her a heightened sense of purpose. Tubman believed these visions were divine messages guiding her through the dangerous mission she would later lead. Imagine that, being struck down by violence, only to rise with an even stronger will to fight against oppression. You've heard of Harriet Tubman leading the enslaved to freedom, but did you know she also led an armed military raid? In 1863, Tubman became the first woman to lead a military expedition in the United States. She guided the Union Army on the Combahee River Raid, which resulted in the liberation of over 700 enslaved people in South Carolina. Tubman wasn't just a guide. She was a master strategist who scouted the terrain and organized the raid like a seasoned military leader. For a woman born into slavery who couldn't read or write, this level of tactical brilliance is nothing short of legendary. As if being a fearless leader wasn't enough, Harriet Tubman was also a herbal healer. She grew up learning about medicinal plants from her mother, and during her time on the Underground Railroad, Tubman used these remedies to treat illnesses and injuries. She even used her knowledge of local plants to help heal soldiers during the Civil War. In a time when medical care was scarce, Tubman's skills saved lives, proving she wasn't just a warrior, but a nurturer too. A woman of war, but also a woman of compassion. A rare combination in any historical figure. Harriet Tubman was a master of disguise, using her intelligence to evade capture on countless occasions. She would change her appearance, adopting different roles like a field hand, an old woman, or even a man. One of her boldest moments came when she disguised herself as an elderly woman and boarded a train filled with bounty hunters. They were on the lookout for her, but they didn't even glance her way. A woman with a $40,000 bounty on her head, Harriet Tubman outwitted the very people hunting her, proving that her greatest weapon was her mind. And finally, even after the Civil War and the abolition of slavery, Harriet Tubman didn't stop fighting for freedom. She spent the rest of her life advocating for women's suffrage and civil rights. Tubman worked alongside leading suffragists like Susan B. Anthony, pushing for equal rights for all. She continued to challenge the oppressive systems of her time well into her old age. Tubman wasn't just a hero of her time. She was a lifelong advocate for justice, a symbol of enduring resistance against all forms of inequality. Harriet Tubman's legacy is far greater than we've been told. From her resilience to her military leadership, her mastery of disguise, her skills as a healer, and her endless fight for freedom, Tubman is one of the most fascinating figures in American history. Let her story remind us that true courage comes from within and that even the most impossible battles can be won with enough determination. If you enjoyed this dive into Harriet Tubman's incredible life, make sure to subscribe to Darklight Archives for more journeys into the hidden and heroic stories of history. Until next time, stay curious and stay courageous.